Well, the Voice debate has reignited in federal parliament with the opposition leader Peter Dutton and his predecessor both speaking out against the government's proposal. Scott Morrison made a rare speech yesterday opposing the legislation, despite progressing the Voice at one stage while Prime Minister. This was Anthony Albanese addressing the opposition's concerns just a short time ago in the House of Reps.
From the outset, instead of seeking ways to agree, they have looked for excuses to disagree. This is in spite of the fact that in 2019, both political parties went to that election saying that there would be a voice.
And joining us now with some reaction is Fred Pascoe, a traditional owner from Normanton in Queensland and chair of the Great Economic Aboriginal Trust. Really appreciate your time. Thank you. Firstly, how do you feel the public debate is progressing so far? Do you think the Yes campaign has the momentum it needs at this stage?
Good morning, Ashley. No, I think there needs to be a lot more to be done, particularly up in my neck of the woods. We had a session this week, which was the first session we had with people from the Yes side, and we certainly gave them our advice. Let me say that we are supportive of the Voice, as I said the last time I was on your program, but there needs to be a lot of work done out at the grassroots level. There's a lot of misinformation out there. Obviously, the opposition are doing their best, as Alba just said there, to certainly spread their version of events to the people. There needs to be a lot more to be done. And we gave a commitment, we being the leaders of the Gulf, gave a commitment to the people we spoke to the other day from the Yes campaign that we would do everything in our power to pull our mob together to talk to these people, to make sure that they're getting both sides of the story, and that's black and white people.
So, Fred, what was the advice that you passed on? What do you think needs to be done?
For them to get out there, to have face-to-face meetings with as many mobs as possible up in our region, to utilise the means of media that, like social media, for instance. A lot of our particularly our younger mob, are on social media constantly, to start utilising that. But basically to get their version of events, to bust some of the myths that are out there. Like, we have leaders from national level saying that this is going to be a divisive thing for Australia. The fact that it's, it is an advisory committee. It's not. It doesn't have veto power. And as I've said, our slant on it is that we believe it should very much come from an economic point of view rather than just being a political voice. Get things out there, like there's no programs that are going to be run by Voice, unlike ATSIC. I was channel surfing last night and I came across one of your programs, and unfortunately I saw one of your commentators say that, that we're hoping to reignite the rivers of gold that's going to flow from government to black people. Well, that's so far from the truth, it's not funny. We want to make sure that the funds that are flowing into the Aboriginal communities at the moment enable the Aboriginal people of the communities to partake in the economy that's around them, to participate in whether it's roads funding, whether it's housing funding, whether it's whatever. There's a lot of good things that have happened in the past in these areas, and the governments, whether they're Labor or whether they're coalition, they tend to forget the good learnings that have come out of a lot of those programs. What we're hoping is that we can provide advice to say, well, this is what we believe you should be focusing on. And this is if you're going to run programs in our communities, concentrate on these issues. And we're obviously saying economic should be front and forefront of everything that goes on in there.
Fred, we played a little clip of the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, delivering a speech on this very issue a little earlier in the Parliament. He was really defending the wording of the question and, in particular, the need to include the executive government reference in the question that will be posed to Australians later this year. How important is it to you that that executive government reference is in the question? As you know, it's that portion of the question that really is most controversial and something that detractors are really highlighting as a key concern.
Yeah, good question, Ashley. We were fortunate enough to meet with Jeff Scott from the Yes campaign, and I put the very question to him: why is the executive government in there? And he said, where the action takes place in government is not with the ministers; it's with the bureaucrats and the DGs and the people behind it, and in the executive government. So if we can get straight to the people that are doing the legwork, doing the actions, if we can provide them advice and talk to them, it just makes the voice a hell of a lot more effective. His explanation to me was certainly rounded out my query on why do we need executive government, and it answered my question basically. So, and it was very simple. It's where the action takes place in executive government, and if we can talk to them, we can provide advice to them as well as government ministers. Well, it just makes their jobs a lot easier, and we're providing advice on things to do with Indigenous affairs, not Australia as a whole, not on defence, not on thing. It's the issues that face Indigenous people is what the advice is going to be provided on.
Fred Pascoe, look, we always appreciate you making the time for us. Really appreciate you joining us live today with your reaction to where we're at the moment in the Voice debate. Thanks so much.